Renegades of Long Beach Roller Derby, and you're watching MoonKILL Radio. Woo-hoo!
Welcome back. Hope you guys are doing great out there, staying sane, healthy, all that good stuff. Taking care of yourselves, taking care of each other, not killing each other. Hey, more time to listen to music, man. Okay? And check out our stuff we have here, stuff we're putting out. Check out our guests, check out our picks if you don't know them. Get involved. We'd like to hear from you guys. Check out or send us, like we said before, send us an email of your own picks and your own reviews. Again, if there's something that either we have, or there might be things that I have, maybe I haven't heard in a long time, man. You say, hey, review this album, man. This is cool. And leave us your name, the name of the album, or the artist, the album, and your own little review so we can read it here. Hey, again, maybe I've never heard it before myself. I don't know everything. Claim to know everything. I have a few things, but I don't have everything. So it might be something that you guys will send me, and I'm like, wow, that's the best thing I've heard in my life. Be super fan after that. You never know. Same thing. Whatever I'm showing you guys here, if you've never heard it, I'll try to explain it as best as I can if you've never heard it before. So maybe it appeals to you, which I've had a few times. I thank those that have commented and sent us messages saying, hey, I watched this one. It was cool. I went and, checked it out. I've had someone, yes, close to me, but they said, hey, I've never seen that movie before. And I did a soundtrack. They went and watched the movie right afterwards, And again, I'm not going to say you're going to dig it, but you never know until you go check it out. Okay, so even if it's new music, send us the same thing. We could do New Music Mondays, same way, right? So for this one, we're gonna get a little lighter on the rock thing for you guys. But this is a great album, and I am a fan of this album. Not so much of the band as a whole, but they do have some great tracks. So for those that are into lighter rock, more of a pop rock, with a little pop sense to it. Maybe I don't want to say along the lines of like Elton John and stuff like that. But this is a little lighter on the normal scale stuff. This is a live album. Yes, I know I'm a live fucking fanatic. Well, this is Supertramp, the Paris album, and this is a double album. Came out in 1978. A British group. Again, not mentioned in the great, the arena of live albums from the 70s, because there's so many of those, especially in the rock genre, whether it be hard rock or whatever. But this is a personal fave of mine. If you don't know it, Sweet Supertramp can get. They have a real pop sense to them. They do. A little bit of progressive rock, but not a lot to it. Yeah, and I think this embodies the best of what they had in the 70s. They did have some tracks going into the 80s. Like Give a Little, I think it was Give a Little Bit. Was that in the 70s or 80s? I don't remember. But, and they did have some hits, even on rock radio. They did have some hits. No, Give a Little Bit was before this, so it wasn't on this album. That was a hit for them. But they're big, like studio albums, of course. Would be Breakfast in America, Crime of the Century, which Crime of the Century is my favorite studio album. This is my favorite album they did. But this is kind of like, if you want a best of their 70s besides Give a Little Bit, this is it right here, because it's got some great album cuts along with the hits that they had. Shit, man, was that 5-piece? Yeah. Sorry, this album's beat up, man. It got a lot of miles on this album. 5-piece. 5-piece band. Rick Davies, Roger Hodgson, John Anthony Helliwell, Dougie Thompson, and Bob C. Benberg. That's who's on this record. Don't know the lineups if they changed or not. I'm not a huge fan of the band as far as the albums go. I don't know every album in and out. But this album I do know very well. Very well. And I still play it. I love this fucking album. It's great. Again, you got a guy playing organ and singing. You got two main singers. The guy playing organ and sings, he's more the deep vocal guy, soulful guy, a little bluesy, a little raspier, not too raspy, but a little bit on top of it. Then you had a guitar player who's the one that hits them fucking high notes, dude. The little dreamer and all that stuff, hitting those fucking high notes, man. Yeah, the drummer. You had a bass. If I'm not, or yeah, two guys on organs, or one guy who might be playing bass as well. But then you had one guy who's just going back and forth from just playing like they play horns. He plays a horn. He plays a flute, sax, just all kinds of dude. He's all over the map. You know, he's just kind of like on his own trip through like the whole show. It's cool to watch. So it's really cool. If you ever see him live or seen footage, it's really cool of them to watch him live. There's some more pictures of the band from the album. See again, playing that sax. Guy in organ here, the drummer, man. Again, man, his album's beat up. It's got miles on it, man. Yeah, again, let's go through the track list, man. Again, for those that are into rock with a little pop sense, if you don't mind a little pop in there, you know, I mean, if you can, you know, it's almost like, I'm not saying they sound like it, but it's like, you know, almost like an Elton John, you know. Elton John can play you some rock. He can play you some, it's got a pop sense to it, you know. He might throw a little this or that in there, you know. You might get a country feel on some of those freaking songs, you know. It might be a little jazz feel, you know. You might listen to something and say, oh, hey, man, that sounds like some Steely Dan right there, you know, or, you know, hey, that sounds like, you know, or Elton John right there, or, you know what I mean, that kind of thing where they do, it's a progressive kind of band, but they're not like a Yes or King Crimson, nothing like that. They're not hard rocking. They have their moments, their picked moments, but a lot of melody involved, harmonizing, like I said, and then having the two singers, which is cool, because then you got the guy with the deeper, soulful, raspier voice, and the other guy hitting the high notes. He's got a real high pitched voice. But it starts off with one of the best cuts they ever did, and it's one of the best songs on the album to me. Is School, you know. But it just, you know, just starts off, and you hear the crowd. All you hear is harmonica, man, and just that alone, bam, and it just fucking sounds great, dude. That's just awesome, and you know it's coming, you know. Then the guy, the keyboards come in, the organ comes in, and I can hear you in the morning when you go to school. I can't hit them high notes, man. School, Ain't Nobody But Me. You know, again, School's more of like a album cut that's just got a good rock sense to it, good driving force behind it. Ain't Nobody But Me, more of a poppy song. But still, again, it all works. Logical Song, which is a great, great cut. I actually sampled it when we were making beats in the mid '90s, man. And that Bloody Well Right, which is a great. Again, these are all rock kind of, you know, popish kind of tunes, man. They got good sense to them, man. Just good melodies, everything. Breakfast in America. You Started Laughing, Hide in Your Shell. I love that the keys he's playing in that one, and the guy with the high pitched voice, he's singing along with it, but it's just a good harmonizing between the two. real mellow, quirky little pop tune. From now on, that's the first two sides right there. Side 3 is Dreamer. That was like one of their hits in the 70s. Dream nothing but a dreamer. Total pop song. Then you get to like the beef part of the album, and Rudy. After Dreamer, you get Rudy, Soapbox Opera, and Asylum, and those three are like more deep album cuts, man, and they're kind of all bleed in together. They jam. It's a little more rock. It's a little more heavier rock, than some of the other popular tunes. Again, more of a deep cut sense to those ones. There's not a lot of radio play for those songs, so they're giving you more than just the pop, all the hits kind of thing, which is awesome. And it's just that is probably one of my favorite parts of the album. Besides School, song-wise, School, I love School, but that's my favorite part just because it's it's just different. It's like there's like partial instrumental passes. They use Winston Churchill. You fight in the air, fight in the thing. We'll never surrender. It's awesome. They build everything up. It's just there's a build up to it. It's fucking great. It's awesome, man. See, musically wise, it's good stuff. It's just good music, man. Then the last side, Take the Long Way Home, which was another hit for them. Take the Long Way Home. Fool's Overture, Two of Us, and then Crime of the Century. Again, dude, this is just a great, I would say for fans of Steely Dan and fans of Elton John, if you're a jazz fan, I just recently was making this connection. If you're a jazz fan and you like people like Jean-Luc Ponty, who he's gonna be on one of my segments if it's not already one of them. But Jean-Luc Ponty, who plays violin, jazz violinist, but he did more like of course, like a lot of people, he did a lot of the straight ahead jazz and stuff like that. But in the 70s, he did some of the like structured where it's not the little R&B-ish to it, like where everyone was getting R&B funk, and the CTI stuff like that. But again, putting a violin over it is not a main play on radio, right? Not even jazz radio. But he was a great violinist and had some great freaking songs. But the style that he played, and if you listen to the live Jean-Luc Ponty album, it's like this is the Jean-Luc Ponty of rock right here. So you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but there's always that Supertramp element that just is nothing like it. It's just Supertramp, just their own sound, which you give it to them. They're their own sound, But again, like I said, if you could dig a band that's in progressive of the sense that they go off the wall with some shit, or they're using different instruments, stuff like that. This is a progressive album. It's a progressive band, progressive rock band, but a rock pop band, right? So they don't go off the cuff like Yes and Rush and Emerson, Lake and Palmer and shit like that. It's nothing like that. But using different sounds, different melodies, and in different passages, and again even instruments, flute, horns. All the horns, all flute and 2 keyboards at a time. At times, it's good stuff, man. And it never gets pumped in there with the great live albums of the 70s. But it is there. It is a live album of the 70s, and it's a good one. Yeah, I would say if anyone getting into Supertramp, if you just want to check them out, listen to their best of. It's not a band that I would say go and buy this one, or if you were going to, I would say if you could stomach live music, you can get this one, or try Crime of the Century. That's, I think, one of the most popular albums that they put out. Had a lot of the hits on there, but if you could dig, like I said, man, just some pop rock with a little fusion in there, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you can stomach a different thing, but it's got a good pop sense to it, though. This is a great album to listen to. Again, it's not just, MoonKill's not just about punk and hardcore and even metal. This is just good music, man. It's just good music for people to listen to, man. You know what I mean? Sit back, have a drink, put it on, bam. Yeah, I grew up on this one, so this is a good one for me. Again, check it out. I know not a lot of you are gonna be on it, of course. And I know Chiquita Banana, you want me to after doing this, you want me to do a special on Pablo Cruz, and I'm not going to, but funny to say it though. But yeah, again, give it a shot, man. It never hurts giving the music a shot, especially with all this time on your hands. Okay, and then all the time you do have in your hands. Okay, guys, get away from. I mean, I don't want to knock anyone else's crap, but you don't have to be Netflixing and YouTube and or like on the TV 24 hours a day. Okay, sit on your porch, sit in the backyard, sit on your balcony or whatever, put some tunes on. Hey, fuck it, smoke a bowl and get some whiskey out, man, Coke and rum, whatever. But check them out. This is Supertramp Paris album, live album for What's on the Slab. Hit us up. Give us your thoughts. Give us your picks. We want to hear it. We want to hear it all, baby. Right? Check out our info. Check anything out. Anything else we got going on. And then, we'll be back with another one, man. All right. Later.